The old city of Hebron in the occupied West Bank. Once bustling with people, it's now filled with deserted alleys and shops closed with padlocks. During the Six-Day War of 1967, Israeli forces took the city from Jordan. A few years later, the government authorized an Israeli civilian presence, making Hebron the only West Bank city inhabited by Jewish settlers.
Before 1967, we were poor, but we lived safely. Over the 12 years that followed the war and the Israeli occupation, there was business and good jobs. But then the trouble started and spread in our area because of the Jewish settlers and the support they received.
Hebron is home to the tomb of the patriarchs, a site holy to both Jews and Muslims. After 1967, the city was effectively divided, with a handful of settlers in certain sectors surrounded by checkpoints, to the dismay of Palestinians who can no longer move freely.
Our life is so hard. We're living in a permanent punishment. But what can we do? We have to sacrifice for our homeland.
The Israeli-occupied part of the city, which Palestinians are largely barred from, is easily identifiable by the Israeli flags. There, Jewish settlers too do not enjoy living under threat and military watch.
I have no problem with the Arabs living here. If it's quiet, I have no problem with them continuing to live here. But it's just not possible that we're living in constant fear over someone coming to stab us.
For decades, Hebron has been the epicenter of unrest in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For the spokesman of its few hundred settlers, total Israeli sovereignty over the city would remedy the violence.
Nowadays, Jews are only allowed to be in 3% of the city's territory, a very small part of the city. There are people who call it a ghetto, and although we don't like this word, it is quite similar.
But with stalled peace negotiations, Hebron's residents, both Israeli and Palestinian, will have to make do with the current situation for the time being.